Hey, aloha and welcome to Beach Walks with Rocks. Today is show number 591 and you can find us at beachwalks.tv. You know, I just wanted to take a day and notice that things in life are really looking up. In other words, there's a lot of problems still in the world, but I also see an incredible number of really dramatic changes that are taking place. And one of them is what happened in Australia last week, which is when their Congress equivalent, I probably don't have the exact right terminology there, but they opened the new legislative session. And the very first thing that they did was issue an apology to the Aboriginal people of Australia. Because over the last 100 years, they basically, for the last generation that are now adults, they took over 100,000 children, removed them from their homes with the very specific intent to assimilate them and essentially kill off the Aboriginal culture in Australia. And you know, that seems unthinkable now that a government would sponsor or do anything like that, but nonetheless it happened. And the good news is that the government has issued this very profound, very moving apology for having done that. And I think that's worth noting. One of our friends on the reef, Duncan, has a podcast called The Happy Guru. And he is from Australia, and so he actually did a podcast about this. I haven't had time to listen to it, but I'm going to link to it in the show notes because I really want to hear the perspective of someone who lives there, what he has to say and what the local people had to experience about that. But you know, here in the United States, we're in this political season, and there's so much interest in politics, and people are off their apathetic couches and getting involved. And that's another thing that I think is really, really positive, because for so long people felt so hopeless about politics, and we basically didn't vote, or we didn't care about our vote, or we figured our vote didn't matter. And things are changing. People actually think their votes matter. Shane and I are going to the Hawaii caucus this evening, and we're going to cast our vote, and I'm very excited about that. So the last little thing that I was thinking is that, you know, the next step now after this apology is to make space for forgiveness to come in. And as difficult as the apology is, I think for people who've been deeply wounded on a very personal as well as on a very cultural village level of abuse and wounding, it's going to be difficult for them. And so I'm going to take a few minutes of meditation for myself today when I'm out there in the water, of giving forth some forgiveness energy to help make that transition a little bit easier there. And I think that's one of the things that we can do when things that are seemingly unrelated are happening to us. It's a way that we can participate and contribute our own energy if we have a little something left over to give on any given day. So thanks so much for joining us here in the late afternoon in Lanikai. It's very, very beautiful. Full moon in a couple of days, very low tide, and it's gorgeous. So I will see you later. Hui ho and malama pono. Take care. Over here, Lex. Ready again?